This is totally me sometimes, right? Is that you too? Like you have something very important to do, and yet you find so many different reasons why you should not start that thing that you don't want to do, right? Procrastination, right? You're just about to start. You're like, at last I'm going to start, I'm going to do this, and then you're like, oh, you know what, I think I need to go downstairs to rearrange my fridge. That's really important right now. And you find all kinds of reason, and then you start rearranging your drawers, you start doing other stuff. So in this series we will have a few weeks just about procrastination. It's a huge topic. There's so much to say about this. So today we'll simply cover the different types of procrastination. And then as we progress during the series, I will explain to you 5 different executive functions of the brain that are involved and that kind of impact could cause or help in some situations of procrastination. So today, let's look at the different reasons why people procrastinate by looking at the different kinds of procrastination. So the very first thing that we know for sure is that procrastination is the thief of time, right? It's a waste of time. Usually we are supposed to do something, you really want to be productive, you've set up a 2-hour chunk in your schedule and you really want to be productive, and yet all of a sudden it's been 2 hours and you haven't started yet because there was so many other things that were so much more attractive than this specific task. So my goal with the procrastination series is to educate maybe our brains about what type of specific procrastinations are we doing, and if we can identify what kind of procrastinator we are, we can match it with the executive brain function that may potentially be responsible for our procrastination. And I will also give you some solutions. So depending on what kind of procrastinator you are, I will cover 5 different brain function with 5 different solutions for each of them. So what I am hoping for you is that you will do less procrastination and more productivity. So there are 5 different kinds. Well, it's not like there are 5 different kinds. I'm identifying here 5 different kinds because there's more than that. But I thought that these were probably the most common. So there's the fun procrastination. So people that procrastinate because of this element is because the task that they're about to do is not as fun as something else that they would love to do instead. So we see this a lot in children. So they have a task to do and they will procrastinate because it's not really as fun as what they could be doing instead. So that is one big type of procrastination. The second one we will see in the series is the distraction procrastination. So some people are getting distracted by external events, by other things that would happen to them. So in the first case, people are choosing internally to do one thing over the other. In the distraction procrastination, it's external, it comes to them. There are other things that may happen that will come to disturb us, and therefore we will procrastinate. The number 3 is probably the most important one. That's the one that might be a little bit longer than your normal 5 minutes, because it is one that is very common, like the fear factor or the anxiety factor. So people that are afraid of the task ahead because maybe it's new, it's unknown, it causes them anxiety because they are afraid of the task that they are about to tackle. And for that reason, they might procrastinate on starting it because they don't want to even try it, right? So on that one, we might spend a lot more time. The fourth type of procrastination that I will cover today is the organizational procrastination. So some people are just not that organized, or they don't know yet. Sometimes a task is way too big and they can't really break it down or chunk it down. They don't know where to start. And that is a really good reason why people procrastinate, because the tasks look way too big, so they don't even start it, because they are lacking the organization that it would take to break down that task into little chunks. And then the last one we will cover during the series is the overbooking procrastination. Some people procrastinate because they have way too much on their plate. They are really, really good at saying yes to everything, and they keep taking on way too much stuff. So that's for today, for the 5 different ways that we procrastinate, the 5 different types that I will cover during the series. Now that we know that, we will be looking next week at 5 different executive brain functions that we will tackle in order to understand. So I will break it down in the next few weeks to explain to you 5 different brain functions that will be affecting the way we procrastinate. I will be giving you solutions as well. So we will look at the attention control, the cognitive inhibition, the inhibition control, the working memory, and the cognitive flexibility. So don't worry about these long terms. I will explain everything to you in the next blog. And just so you know, these executive brain functions are something that we develop with time, and I'll give you tips on how to increase their power, maybe, so that you can use them better and put them on your side so that you procrastinate less, and then you can be more productive. So I will see you next week.